get started, so go ahead and get your popcorn and anything else that you need so that you can enjoy Christmas in Florida. So here we go. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming and joining us once again here at Miss Nolan's Literature Circle. My name is Miss Xylia Nolan, and I am the author of The Memoirs of an Empress. And today I am going to be reading for you Santa is Coming to Florida by Steve Smallman. Before I begin, however, I'd like to thank everybody for their likes and their shares, particularly with my last video. I really appreciate it. If you have not followed me yet on Instagram, I'd appreciate it if you take out your phone right now and go to Instagram and go and search up Black Girls Write 2, the number 2, and go ahead and like and follow me so that you can keep track on all the things that I'm bringing to my community. Welcome to sunny Florida, specifically here in Sunrise. This is where I live, and I'm so glad that you could join me today. If you missed any of my literature circles, you could go to blackgirlswrite2, number 2.com, and I have posted all of my literature circles on my website so that you can go and enjoy the videos of the books that I have read if you've missed any of them. So thanks again. So, what's your favorite holiday? So you guys know that there's lots and lots of holidays, and each holiday is very, very special. Can you tell by what holiday I'm going to be talking about today by my headphones? Probably not. Or maybe you can tell by the little clues here. Well, I'm bringing Christmas to Florida right here today. It's May. So who can't use a little holiday cheer? So I hope you guys are ready. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Santa is Coming to Florida by Steve Smallman. So the funny thing is that when I first moved here from Brooklyn, New York, I thought, my God, Christmas in Florida, how weird. There was no snow, it wasn't cold. But let's see how Steve Smallman sees it. Santa is Coming to Florida, written by Steve Smallman. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Florida been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Florida had sent him. Mostly, asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, they've all been good, especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, said Santa. Then we better get the presents loaded up. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack into one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did it. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of your reindeer is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, said Santa. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him and called him, but just then a young reindeer strolled up munching a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loud that it was no wonder that he hadn't heard the little elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took his Santa knob and tapped it into the coordinates for Florida. This will guide us to Florida in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Well, soon these presents delivered to the Sunshine State. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew into the wintry air high above Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying over the Midwest and on past Georgia. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They were nearing Miami Beach when suddenly they ran into thick fog. Mist swirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting quite worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa Knob in the boss's lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa bursted, I can't see any stars in all this fog. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Ding dong, ding dong. Then through the foggy blanket, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong. He looked over the old reindeer with his big red nose, but he had his head down. Ding dong, ding dong. There was a sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with the little box with buttons on it. With the flick of a harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off towards the sound of the bell, pulling Santa and his sleighs behind. Woo! Cried Santa, pulling his hat straight off. What's going on? Then to his surprise, he heard the ringing around. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the Trinity Cathedral. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the fog. You have arrived, said the Santa Nav, unhelpfully. Finally, the fog had lifted. Santa discovered exactly where they were, stuck right near the very top of the Freedom Tower. Everybody pulled. The reindeer pulled with all their might until, at last, there was a screeching noise. The sleigh scraped clear of the tower, and Santa steered them safely over the palm trees along Biscayne, above the amphitheater, and down into Bayfront Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted all the presents into order again. All right, said Santa. Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Florida, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could. There were big chimneys in Tallahassee and small chimneys in Daytona Beach. He squeezed down the chimney in Orlando and plummeted fat chimneys in Fort Lauderdale. Go Fort Lauderdale, go Fort Lauderdale. The youngest reindeer was amazed how quickly it all went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in Florida were going to be very lucky this year. Yes. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved into the side sacks, packages, every shape and every size. He piled them up under the tree and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Florida had left out a plate of cookies and a small glass of milk and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots in his sack. From Panama City to Bal Harbor, from Tampa to Sarasota, from Vero Beach to Coral Gables, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visit every house in Florida. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Allison, Anna, Arabella, Ari, Ashley, and the list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe, Zybel, don't forget Xylea. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Florida list. Great moons and stars, sighed Santa. It's past midnight and my sack seems so heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, full carrots. I wonder who's going to get that to. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on his nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear much because he was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav once more for the North Pole. And soon they were speeding past River Place Tower along the St. Johns River through the crispy, starry night. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Florida! Now I know what you're saying. It's me. It's not Christmas, but I still want you guys to know we can celebrate at any time of the year. And I want you guys to know that you can come back here next Friday because I will be reading a new title. And if you check back on Wednesday, you can see what title I have selected because I choose titles from all over the world. In the meanwhile, I need everybody to remain safe, and I want to thank everybody once again for all of their support and for all the adult listeners. Please make sure you join my new literature community at Facebook groups. The name, of course, is Black Girls Write 2, which is the number 2. And I would like to wish everyone a safe Memorial Day weekend. And in honor of my dad, a Vietnam vet, and all the soldiers who have fallen, we have not forgotten about you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for supporting Black Girls Write 2. Thank you for supporting literacy across the world. And I'll see you next week, Friday. Bye!